Here's a photo of Richard Saburin. Lionel Saburin, 52, was shot 6 times and killed in the barn 12 years ago last Friday. His brother Richard, now 73 and shown above, was shot twice but remains as a living reminder of the area's worst, though yet unsolved, murder. What was the weather like that night of the murder? It had been cold but clear earlier on April 18, 1963, but lightning marked the sky that night and a persistent rain battered the area to the slow growl of thunder. What did local media dub this murder? The 3 others made their way towards Richard. 2 younger men were holding clubs and began swinging at Richard. They broke his wrist. Richard Saburin grabbed a bucket and started swinging it at them. He grazed the head of a short man. What was the profession of these 2 men who were attacked? They did say the profession of these 2 men, but not the word I was looking for. I didn't hear it anyway. They named the product that these men produced, but they didn't say what industry they were in. How many suspected attackers took part in this murder? Four hooded men entered the barn. One remained near the doorway holding a shotgun as if to watch for intruders. What was the suspected motive behind the attack? What was the actual motive behind this murder? Who was the lead investigator on this case? And here is an image of Constable Racine. New officer joins OPP staff at Sturgeon. Recently graduated from the Ontario Provincial Police Training School at Toronto, Constable Jean-Paul Racine is now attached to the Sturgeon Falls OPP detachment. And he started just a few days before that murder and eventually became the one assigned to that case and followed it throughout his entire career, and it was never solved. And Racine eventually moved down to Toronto to take a position down there.
What language did the killers speak? They did speak two of them. What two languages did the murderers speak? What evidence did police find at the scene of the murder? I'm pretty sure it said sticks. Twice.
Balsam and cedar tree stumps were found by police. The attackers obviously broke trees in order to make the clubs with which they beat the Sabourin brothers.
And yes, believe it or not, that was actually part of the evidence in this crime. That's not what I was looking for. There were some other basic things which could easily have been said by the spirits. I'll just go ahead and say them. Cigarette butts, cigarette carton, a cigar, and a raincoat. I also heard this thing say umbrellas. I didn't read about any umbrellas, but it was raining that night, and there was a raincoat that was found.
Police gathered 68 items of evidence at the scene, all of which remained stored. Included are a part package of cigarettes found outside the barn, a cigar still in its wrapper, located in a field along with a cigarette butt, and a plastic holder. A light gray raincoat was found just off the township road west of the Sabourin property. It had been hidden in bushes. Keys for a type of lock used to secure the chains were later found a quarter-mile west of the Sabourin property on the side of the road near the Canadian Pacific Railway crossing. This seemed to show the path the men traveled. They were headed towards Verner. But an employee at the restaurant at Mattawa later informed police that 6 men had entered the restaurant on the night of April 18th and acted nervously. He gave them a description of the men. One included a hunchback man who walked with a limp. Richard Sabourin remembers a man fitting this description.
What color car were police searching for?
A car with only one headlight was seen in the area on the night, and shots were heard. Investigators were reported looking for a late model black car which was reportedly seen in the vicinity of the farm where the murder took place.
One police theory involved a gang. Tell me about it.
In this instance, a group of men set upon 2 elderly farmers, killed one and wounded the other. They tied him with dog chains. It was presumably a robbery attempt. One theory is that this crime was perpetrated by the Red Hood Gang of Montreal, which is known to have ranged over wide territory.
Are either of the victims here with me tonight in spirit form? If so, do you have anything that you would like to say to convince us that there is life after death?
4 decades after this grisly murder, police revisit the site. Ontario Provincial Police Detective Sergeant Jeff Dagg, as he looks inside a window and describes the events leading to the April 18th, 1963 death of Lionel Sabern at the Caldwell Township farm. So this is a little bit of a conclusion to the story, guys. Dagg said the man, who was almost certainly traumatized by what had happened, stayed on at the farm for several years and married neighbor Bernadette Levac 18 months later. Richard died in 1984. His wife still lives in the area. The men were wearing stockings pulled over their heads, Dagg said, explaining why there were never a clear description. Richard heard some of the men speak French and some speak English. The quiet 28-hectare farm on Levac Road in Caldwell Township looks much the same as it did 40 years ago, although the 2-story farmhouse is vacant and the barn houses firewood rather than animals. The rusted safe, believed to have been the motive behind the attack, sits sunken into the ground behind a shed. Police are once again scouring the property, taking photographs and measurements since the house is soon to be demolished. If there's an arrest, we have to be able to present in court evidence of the scene, Dagg said, explaining the current owner works the land but lives elsewhere. Here we've got an image of Detectable Constable David Lintz of the Ontario Provincial Police North Bay Detachment as he looks at the safe believed to be the motive of the Sabern murder of April 18th, 1963.
That's it. That's all the questions I have tonight, guys. So I want to thank the spirits if they were here, if they answered these questions. There were some things that I caught that seemed relevant to me to the case, clear words, and then there were instances where I was waiting to hear something that I thought, for sure they're going to say these guys were farmers. They never did, but they did say milk. And that's what these guys were doing. They were actually milking cows the night of the attack. So, I'm not trying to say that I have my doubts about these apps and the spirit connectivity. I know there's more to it. I do feel it, but I just don't get why they can't come through and give us answers. In this case, I knew all the answers to these questions that I'm asking. We've already researched them, and this was a test. And I'm hoping that there's more comes through on the computer when I play it back than what I heard here with my own ears, because right now, just sitting here, I heard maybe 5 or 6 things that I thought, wow, okay, that ties in directly. The rest of it, not so much. So you guys will find out. You guys already know, because at this point, what you're watching has been edited. But me sitting here right now in this time frame, I don't have a clue whether the spirits did a good job or not. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We are going to do some more cases coming up in the next week or two. Peace out.